talking about today's session, Zero Trust Security in Atlassian. What exactly Zero Trust means is that Zero Trust Security means that no one in your organization's, be it internal or external users, are trusted. Every user has to be verified in order to access the organization's data and use your organization sensitive data, irrespective of if they're inside your network or outside your network. So I work as a business analyst. I have been involved in I've talked to a lot of enterprise customers, right from the onboarding process to the requirement process to the development process and also to the purchasing process. So I'll share some of the experiences with you, how enterprise organizations use Zero Trust security in the Atlassian ecosystem. So today's agenda will basically cover the current time challenges that are out there, the current time challenges faced by the organizations in today's world. In the keynote, one of the keynote sessions, we saw how there are a lot of cyber breaches out there, and basically we'll cover that. Then how we can implement core security principles for any company in general, and how we can implement them by SSO plus MFA. SSO is short for single sign-on. And then how, talking from an admin's perspective, how centralized access management and license cost saving can be beneficial to any admin inside the organization. So if I talk about the current time landscape, the current challenges faced across organizations. So as you can see the numbers, 76% of the cyber breaches impact businesses within 1,000 employees. And 74% of the security incidents are aimed at your user credentials. So obviously there's no questions that all of the cybersecurity breaches that happen across organizations are being aimed at your user credentials who have privileged access to your company's sensitive data. And also along with that, I don't know if I can see over here, 65% of these businesses are not entirely aware of what are the real benefits of SSO and MFA. So moving forward, this is basically a general overview on why Zero Trust in any company is important. So as you can see, if you are an authorized user, you have access to the sensitive data, and if you're an unauthorized user or if you're a hacker, access to the data is denied. So this is how this is a very gimmicky way of showcasing how Zero Trust security in your organizations, in your entire organization is really important. So coming to the core security principles, as we spoke, first up is authentication and authorization. Verifying the identity of a user is really critical, and basically they're trying to access your company's data, be it inside your network or outside your network. Verifying the user credentials and user identity is really important. And obviously authorization, what level of access do they have? Do they have a privileged access, based on your particular credentials, based on your based on your level in your company? It is really important, authentication and authorization. Coming to the principle of least privilege, it ensures that the access of your company's data is limited to a set of people, again based on your particular level in your organizations. Moving forward, so now we'll basically talk about one of the protocols that are there, which is single sign-on, which can help you secure your application. So today over here we'll specifically talk about Atlassian applications, which is, for example, Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, etc. So are you aware of Jira, Confluence, or Bitbucket? Have you used do you use in your organization? How many of you use Jira, Confluence? Have you heard of them? Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Jira basically is a project management tool. And let's say if your organization uses many Atlassian apps, which is Jira, Confluence, that is JSM, this is Bitbucket, that is Fisheye, Crowd, etc. So if you use many Atlassian applications, remembering password for each application is tedious. And each and every time, since the process of zero trust, since the core principle of zero trust is authentication, logging into Atlassian application each and every time, remembering passwords for Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, for everything, it's an absolute tedious task, and no one can remember your password. You can easily forget your passwords, or you can have just one password, account, or an identity. Now, what do I mean by identity? Now, you must be having your organization's identity, your user credentials. Let's say, for example, there is miniOrange, or let's say there is an example for you work at a company, let's say you work for TCS, you have an organization identity for TCS, tcs.com, infosys.com, miniOrange.com. So that is your user identity. Now what you can do with the help of that is you can log in using that particular identity. You can log in into any Atlassian application, be it Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, using that single identity, or Crowd, and with any identity provider where your user credentials are stored, be it Okta, be it as you can see miniOrange, be it Google. If your organization's user identity are stored in, let's say, Google, AWS, Microsoft, with the help of that, you can log in into all the Atlassian applications all at once, and it's an absolute seamless process. So that's one of the core principles of zero trust, where you don't have to remember multiple passwords. With just one password, you can log in with the correct authentication methods that are there using the SAML protocol or the OAuth OpenID protocol. You can log in into all the Atlassian applications all at once using your identity, using our solution. Now, as an admin, let's take an example. You have to manage multiple portals or multiple Jira projects. Now, it's an headache to assign and organize your customer portals based on you have different companies who act as your customers. So adding them to specific portals for an admin is a tedious task. One by one you're adding the external users to the specific portals over here is an absolute tedious task, and it's a very time consuming task, and it can be prone to error also. So with the help of that, what we can do is, with the help of our solution and enterprise features like organization mapping and portal access mapping, let's say, for example, all of the users in the red are from one company, all of the users in purple are in one company, and all of the users in green are in one company. And let's take an example that all of these users are your customers who use a specific customer portal. So mapping them individually and mapping them manually is again a time-consuming task, as we spoke. So again, with the help of enterprise features, you can easily map them based on your company name and also internal designations, and map them to your specific portals seamlessly, and it's just in just one click. By mapping your based on your groups that are there in your identity provider, you can map them. With this, again, as a Jira admin, your efficiency is at the peak at all times. Be it any customer, any number of customers or any number of users in your internal organization, you can easily map them to your specific Jira projects or your Jira customer portals.
Yep.
So that was about single sign-on. Moving ahead with another authentication method, that is two-factor authentication. So we can call that as multi-factor authentication. So 2FA or MFA is if you want. So why exactly 2FA? It's a simple answer. Because passwords, just are, maybe they aren't enough. You need an additional layer of security to protect your internal application, to protect your internal in the sense organization data, company's data. So again, going into the specifics of Atlassian applications, if you want to protect your Atlassian application or add an external layer, external security layer on top of your passwords that you're already using, with different authentication methods, with different 2FA methods. Yeah. Even if your pass is stolen, with the help of this 2FA method, there are different 2FA methods like OTP over SMS, OTP over email, which is personalized to you. With the help of that, all of your Atlassian applications are secure, even if your password is stolen. So there is an additional layer of security that protects all of your users' data and users' credentials. As I mentioned, you can have, based on your choice, you can have multiple authentication methods. Like there is do authentication. You can also have biometrics, security questions, OTP over SMS, OTP over email, all types of authentication methods you can have. So yes, if you take an example of OTP or SMS, this is your username, password that is there, and along with that, once that is authenticated, that is verified, then you enter your OTP verification, and then after that, only then, if both of these are correct, only then you get an access to your organization's data or your internal applications, which is Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket in this case. So yeah, that was about 2FA. So by enforcing SSO and 2FA, you can set up a strong user identity and authentication process for your internal applications, again, like Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket. And with this, your whole authentication process is streamlined. Wherever your user be it, and again, be it from, since the whole idea of remote work is so common these days, with the help of these solutions, you can basically use your applications securely. With again, as you can see, with solutions like single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, there are also directory services. Let's say if you want to connect your local directory that you have, where your users and your group information is stored. If you want to connect that to, let's say, your cloud instance, you can also do that. And also on top of that, you can add your adaptive authentication on top of that. I hope the base is not too much. It's okay. So yeah, let's now talk about how we can make an admin's life easier with the help of user provisioning and license management. So user provisioning, or we also say SCIM in technical terms. SCIM is short for System for Cross-Domain Identity Management. Now let's say you have in different organizations there are multiple teams, like there's development team, there is marketing team, there is operations team, there is HR team, etc. And they need access to applications like Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket for various users. So let's say while onboarding process, as a company grows, they need application. They need when a new user comes on board, they need access to your applications. So maybe because of that, your users might be out of sync. There's, since a lot of users are onboarded on a day-to-day basis, it's a very, again, tedious task for an admin to do that, to run after the manager's approval for that particular application access. Yes, as you can see over here, if you have too many users to handle, it's an absolute headache for a Jira admin or a Atlassian admin. Again, you can automate this whole chaos with miniOrange. Now, again, if all the users and your groups are stored in an identity provider. So let's take, for an example, all of these users are existing employees, and a new user is onboarded. So in an ideal case, if a new user is onboarded, they'll have to they need access to those applications, right? So again, the Jira admin will have to run after the manager's approval ki hey, mujhe this particular to give the access to this particular user. Now again, doing that manually is again a very tedious and error-prone task for any admin. And take this into consideration that there are hundreds of employees which are onboarded. There are hundreds of employees which are offboarded on a day-to-day basis. So running after the manager's approval, running after the doing the task every day, every now and then, can be really error-prone, and you can have wrong access, wrong level of access to your organization's data or your internal applications, which again defeats the whole purpose of zero trust. Again, you can't really provision all of your users manually. Now what we do over here with miniOrange user sync, you can automate this whole chaos, and whenever a change is there, or what our solution does is recognizes the change in the identity provider based on the group. It automatically syncs your users' credentials in your internal Jira or Confluence application, and based on their role, based on their level in the organization, and based on this level, again, we will have the access to all those internal applications that are there. And with this, all of your user information and your group information is up to date with your necessary application access that you have.
I went on stage and really.
And yes, with this, all of your users and your group information is in sync. So whenever a new employee comes on board, from the first day itself, they have access to all the applications that are needed. So, on the first day, a developer has an access to a Jira software or a Bitbucket. A marketing guy has an access to Confluence from the very first day itself, and they can hit the ground running from the second day onwards. So that was about Skim. So now your users are onboarded on a very day-to-day basis, and it can be a fact that there might be a question that is every active user in your internal Jira directory or your Confluence directory actually accessing the tool or actually using the tool. As a user directories grow on a day-to-day basis from a size perspective, and also if they grow older, the larger your Atlassian instance grows, there are a lot of false positives that are there. There are quite a few times there are users who don't really access the Atlassian application. It's been 25 days that they're not even using that particular license. They're not using the particular applications, and it unnecessarily increases your license cost. And mind you that all of these applications are really expensive. So even if one inactive user is there and even if one inactive user can actually, overboard your expenses, overboard your license tier, and all of these applications, again, as I mentioned, they're really costly. What they're So in an ideal world, you would love to identify users based on your real activity data, like who are using users. Those just give license to those users who are using Jira, Confluence on a day-to-day basis. Just give access to those users and deactivate those users who have not really logged in into your company applications for 10 days, for 15 days, and just look at the cost savings that are there. This can be per month. So $6,000 can be saved by just deactivating 52 users. $2,000 can be saved by just deactivating 37 users. So the amount of cost saving that is there by license management is substantial. Now again, for an admin, identifying which users is inactive, which user is actually using that particular application is again a tedious task. Now again, with the user management app, what it does is it performs bulk operations like bulk delete or removal of inactivated users or deactivate them, and it streamlines your license usage and leading to substantial cost savings in your Atlassian ecosystem. So basically you can, with the help of our app, you can automate this whole license saving cost, and you can have a list of those users who have not logged in for, let's say, 30 days or 25 days. You can automatically deactivate those users. You can set a particular timeline and again save the licensing costs with the help of our app. So in conclusion, with the help of all of these solutions, you can extend your organization-wide IAM policies and apply zero trust in your organizations from an application perspective. Again, enforce single sign-on or MFA. You can accelerate user onboarding and offboarding for Atlassian products and reduce the IAM tasks, which is like giving access to the particular user and keep pace with your scaling organization. As you can see, the 4 blocks over there: authentication, authorization, user management, and central user repository. All of these 4 blocks build one IAM block, and with all of this suite of applications that I've just mentioned, you can achieve that for your Atlassian applications. Thank you. And yeah, I'll take up any questions if there are any.
Yes, it was just about us to take it out. This is not up because we use lots now.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
So this is restricted only for the Atlassian apps, or there would be the other models like ERPs or some other kind of the applications which is there?
So
trust
yeah,
to talk about.
Okay, so currently this is just for Atlassian apps like Jira, Confluence. So we also have other suite of solutions where all of these whole processes can be also applied for all the other applications that we use. Sorry?
Not. It's like and describe there is. So this doesn't take care of MFA?
Sorry?
MFA?
MFA, yeah, it's there.
Yes. It's there, right? Yes, just thought yourself to FA plus SSO, which is RWD.
Yes. So MFA is also, you can also deploy a foolproof MFA solution also, like the other authentication methods that I just mentioned. Even so, yeah, you can deploy to your. Since I'm talking about just Atlassian applications, you can deploy those for specific. If you want authentication methods for specific groups, you can also deploy. Okay, I guess I'll wrap it up then. So yeah, thank you for joining, and I'm available here if you want to just talk about zero trust and Atlassian application. I hope to see you tomorrow also for this session. So yeah, thank you and have a nice day. Have a nice evening.